Apparently, there is plenty of time to die, especially at 2 hours 40 million minutes. Wow, this movie is long. Just kidding. No Time to Die. No Time to Die is the latest James Bond flick. It is directed by Cary Joji Fukunaga. I hope I pronounced that right. I probably didn't. Whose previous credit includes a movie called Jane Eyre. So I'm thinking to myself, why is the director of Jane Eyre chosen to direct your action-packed Bond film? Oh yeah, because this movie doesn't have that much action in it. That's why. It's written by Neil Purvis, Robert Wade, who wrote a ton of the previous James Bond movies. They've had a hand in writing 7 of these now. They're also joined on the writing credits by Cary Fukunaga and Phoebe Waller-Bridge. The Phoebe Waller-Bridge part excited me, but 4 writers does not. That's too many chefs in your kitchen, especially when 2 of your chefs have been there a long time and their recipe is stale. It's so stale. What is this movie about? Well, unfortunately for this movie, it is a sequel to Spectre. A movie that was, There's probably going to be spoilers in this review. It takes 27 minutes for the fucking start theme to play. 27. And in all that time, did anything meaningful happen? Not really. You could have condensed that into 10 minutes or less. Why did that need to be big and bombastic right at the start? It's not good. Already that set the tone for me of, wow, I'm bored. I'm bored already. The music hasn't even started yet. There's a good cast in this movie. I like Daniel Craig. I like Rami Malek. I like Jeffrey Wright, Christoph Waltz, Ralph Fiennes. I like all of them. And I like Ana de Armas as well. Problem I have with this movie is Léa Seydoux, who is the Bond's love interest from the previous movie. She's the love interest in this movie as well. And she is a fucking charisma vacuum. She's awful. She's horrible. I don't understand why James Bond loves this woman at all. And then you see him doing this really kick-ass action scene, James Bond with Palermo, played by Ana de Armas. She looks gorgeous, has lots of charisma, kicks ass with Bond, and you're just like, why isn't she in the whole movie? No, we're going to go to this Madeline lady who's so fucking dull. Another thing that doesn't work in this movie's favour is you've spent all of the Daniel Craig movies building up the threat that Spectre is. They get chumped out like little bitches in no time. Like, what? Why? Who are you going to replace him with? Anyone good? Well, Rami Malek's a good actor, so maybe he can pull it off. He doesn't. You see this flashback, right, which is supposed to be him and Madeline when she was a little girl. In fact, but it doesn't make any sense because when you see them both as adults, he's not that much older than her. It doesn't work. Who cast that? And yeah, you've just chumped out Spectre, the big bad villains. I thought they might have tried to do something cool with Christoph Waltz's Blofeld, like they did with Solomon Kane in the Mission Impossible movies. No, chumped out like nothing. Great, awesome. This movie has so few action scenes, and it's so boring that you're supposed to be paying attention as to what's going on so you know everyone's motivations and shit. You just don't care. Nanobot MacGuffin disease. That's all you need to know. What happened to these movies? Where's the fun factor? You know, yeah, sure, there's been James Bond movies with villains just as lame as the one in this, but at least those movies had a fun factor. You know, some of the Pierce Brosnan movies are really bad, but they're fun to watch, at least. Like, they might be ridiculous and silly and funny. Man of the Golden Gun, some of Roger Moore movies, they might be a bit silly as well, but they're fun, because he's fun to watch. This movie's not fun. At all. And it's 2 hours and 43 minutes. They don't justify this runtime. They really don't. In fact, I would say there's less story here than in Quantum of Solace, which went for 1 hour and 43 minutes. And I like that movie significantly more than this one. That car's speeding away from my review because they don't want to hear me go off on this movie because they know. Yeah, they know. Oh, man. This is a fucking bore fest. Complete bore fest. It's no fun, no joy to be had, and it has one of the fucking worst endings to a Bond movie ever. He dies. Is his death any good? No. It's so cliched and poorly done. Like, so much of this movie. And I'm struggling to wonder what Phoebe Waller-Bridge brought to this movie. Except for maybe punching up the dialogue so it doesn't sound so sexist or something like that. Because I would bet $10, all right, $5, that she wrote for the female 007, who's awesome, and for Palermo, who was awesome. Yeah. All the women in this movie are awesome except for the main one that James Bond loves. They're charismatic, they're interesting, you want to see them do more stuff, and they don't. Here's what you do with your reboot of James Bond next. Neil Purvis? Robert Wade? You're out! Don't just change directors, change writers too! New ideas, new ways of doing things. Start with new writers. Thank you. Do it. Because I'm giving No Time to Die a 1 out of 10. I had no time to watch this for ages because it was so fucking long. And then when I did, I wish I hadn't watched it. This is the last one? It's your swan song for Daniel Craig. Why isn't this a big, fun, epic, bombastic adventure or something? Because I guess that's not the tone they're going for these. They're going for more this realistic kind of thing. It's a 1 out of 10. Movie looked pretty gorgeous and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of it at all. It's so disappointing that I went from Casino Royale, a 10 out of 10, to No Time to Fucking Die, which gets a 1. Fuck this movie.